We see a lot of different products come through here at EU Juicer, including a lot of Chinese-made low-cost vertical juicers. However, this model is the first horizontal unit we've seen made from China, and it's priced about half the price of the premium juicers that are made from Korea. First of all is the juicing screen, or actual lack of a metal juicing screen. There's just a little metal strainer down at the end and some plastic grooves where a juicing screen would normally be. The auger was interesting. It's white, solid, made of ceramic. I'd never seen that before. The juicing containers are BPA free, although they are on the small side. Now, assembly of the unit was quick and easy. You just put on the housing, slide in the auger, the plastic juicing screen, and then the cap. One interesting feature this model had that I hadn't seen before was a sliding variable pressure lever. It lets you move the auger in and out, and you can set it at a low pressure for things like grapes, things with a lot of fluid, water content. You could set it at a high pressure for things like beets, carrots, things like that. So I started out here, setting it low with some grapes. And the unit had an interesting feature I hadn't seen before. There was a juice cap, something you normally see on a vertical that allows you to mix different fruits. See there, it's being opened to let the juice out. Now the pulp coming out was definitely on the wetter side. Of course that's normal with grapes, but the lack of a juicing screen did show here. It produced a decent amount of yield. The juice was clear and tasty, but the pulp was certainly very wet still. Now setting it at the middle setting, that's for medium hardness produce. I'm using it here with apples. One thing I noticed using this juicer is there's a seal on the plunger, a silicone seal, but the seal is so tight that it becomes a struggle to pull the unit out. It creates like a vacuum lock almost. And you can see that here. As the plunger is being pulled out, it can get stuck and you almost have to hold down the juicer to get it out without tipping it over. I thought maybe after a few uses it would lighten up a little, but it didn't seem to. It seemed to in fact increase the vacuum seal. The apple juice itself was pretty good. Not as good as you'd see on a high-end premium juicer, something from Omega or Sana. There was more foam, and there was also more pulp, something like you'd see on a coarse screen on a different model. And the pulp was definitely more wet. Again, this is probably the result of a lack of a juicing screen. I decided not to clean out the unit, but go straight to carrots, setting the variable pressure on the hardest setting. It actually did quite well with the carrots. Again, pulling out the plunger became a problem the more I used it. Another thing I noticed was a smell, an electrical burning odor coming from the motor. I actually let the unit set overnight, tried it the next day, and still noticed the smell. That was perhaps my biggest concern with this unit, as the juice results were actually pretty good. Again, the juice did have more pulp, and the pulp was wetter than what you'd find in a super high-end horizontal juicer, but for the price, it was acceptable. Cleanup was fast and easy. Again, there's only just a few parts. You've got the auger to clean out, and really just rinsing is required. There's no scrubbing, except a bit maybe with the juicing screen. Again, the juice container, pulp container, BPA free, all the parts that come into contact with it. And most things I just rinsed out. I did take a brush to the little sieve part. Notice here, this was the carrot juice. You can see how it does have a higher pulp content. Again, this is a result of a lack of a juicing screen. Overall, I had mixed feelings about this model. I liked the fact that it was low priced. Also that it was easy to clean up, it worked well. I liked that pressure lever. On the other side, I didn't like the smell coming from the motor, the plunger, the tiny juicing screen, and the fact that it only has a 2-year warranty. Overall, I give this model 2.5 stars out of 5.